So I'm genuinely surprised that a lot of you wanted to see this recipe. Um, this is right after OP16, so I'm a little late on this because I would do an update with EBO3, stuff like that. And sorry if it's a glare. I don't want to be Bandai Fest and have the glares covering the cards on the field. But if you're not familiar with Perona, well, I don't know why you're here. This is just an update video on what I did. It's long overdue, so I'll just get right into it. Explain the cards afterwards, and you can just copy my deck verbatim or try to figure it out or make your own. So I'm running two of the Searcher Perona, the one that grabs top three. Oh, I'm sorry about that glare. Yeah, it's abysmal. The one that can grab a Mihawk or Thriller Bark, and then you trash a card. You actually go down a card, but 2k counter, 1 cost, and 2k power. It's a good, I'll say, toolbox to keep going for the deck. So 2, you could be my samurai. I'll explain what the deck does after I go through the recipe. So we got 4 of the 5 cost Perona. That's it for green, actually. Not a lot of green in this build. I'm pivoting around between throwing in a couple stuff, but this is kind of what I landed on. So Thriller Bark, I run 2 of the stage. And the new card, this helped out the deck immensely. It's nice that's leader locked to Perona, so other decks can't just abuse it. But I run a play set of I knew you people were behind this. Shadows Asgard. Now, I'm actually running a play set. It seems kind of clunky or whatever, but actually, it puts in work. You'd be surprised. Sindri. I'm running a play set of Sindri. So, 4. All those leaders, Thriller Bark, you just mill 5. Clean and simple. Okay, this is a new card from OP15. Newer, I should say. Hogback. 1 cost, 1k power, 2k. Sorry, 1k counter, 2000 power. On play, if your leader is Thriller Bark, you trash 5 from the top of your deck. On KO, if you have 6 cards or less in hand, you draw a card. This card's actually very solid for the deck. And I'll start explaining stuff again at the end of the thing. Another new card from OP15 is this Perona. 2k counter, 1 cost, 2k power. If a character with base 7,000 or less would be removed, you can trash a card instead. So it helps, just KO based effects or whatever. Red Rock's not around anymore, but there are other cards that help do that. There's a Sabo even that does that too, if I'm not mistaken. For Kumasi, I used to make the deck originally around this guy. Well, the problem was he kept coming in rested. He was very strong on my turn, but he wouldn't make it that long. So the 4 cost Perona from OP6, 5,000 power, 2k counter. On play, if you have 5 or more, if your opponent has 5 or more, choose 1. Your opponent trashes a card, or you give something -3 cost. I love since Carrot was my first deck, I love the whole resting thing in green, and just the minus costing isn't as good as it used to be, but it's something. Let me see if I can fix this. I don't know if that's a lot better for you to get. Nah, not really. All right. So, Dr. Hogback, 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter. Got him at 2. This is the one from OP6. It's just the premium Bandai one. The new Perona from the Heroines Cup. So I run it at 4. This is also very good for the deck too. And you'll see how it starts to come together. Well, I can actually go over real quick, not just flex my rarity or whatever. But, so it's 4 cost, 6,000 blocker. On play, give 1 Rested to your leader or character. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, play 1 Thriller Bark Pirates type character card with a cost 2 or less from your trash rested. So it reanimates all the little pipsqueaks in the deck, and you can just get their on plays a whole nother time. So 6 cost Gecko Moria. This is from PRBO2. If your leader is Silverbark, you select one card with the cost 4 or less from trash rested and move one rested on. It's the nerf version of the 8 cost one that we had. This card too, it's newer. I kind of just threw it in there last minute and kind of seeing what results I can get. 6 cost, 8,000 power. Dracula Meacock character rush on play. Draw 2 cards, and if there is, you draw 2, trash 2, and you give an opponent's character -4 cost. I think this is indirect Perona support. It might be for Yamato or something because it's an OP16, but I'm completely not sure. I'm gonna kind of see how that will work in my favor later. And then lastly, I got 2 of the 7 cost Luffy's from OP15, the one that's based off of cards and effects and grave. So that's the recipe. You can click off the video if you want now, and I'll just kind of explain my reasoning for things while I go over this thing. I'm going to scoot this back a little bit. So I cut this down to 2. It's a good target for You Can Be My Samurai. There's a lot of targets in here, and I wanted my Thriller Bark stuff to do things other than just being a pipsqueak and stay there. That's why Shadows Asgard is in there too. This is also a target to be reanimated by the stage, so you can get the effect over and over again, but you are going down hand size. The only positive thing for it is you can get up, you can fill up your trash faster. This card is just a good card. It's searchable by a lot in the deck is why I kept it. If you're not familiar with what it does, this is from OP14. Your opponent picks 2 cards with a cost 5 or less. So they cannot be rested. So essentially they cannot attack, nor can they block with them. And on KO, you can play a green character that costs 5 or less from your hand. That part's... I don't know why it doesn't say other than Perona, but theoretically you could just play another one. I'm realizing that right now. That's kind of weird. Okay, yeah. Again, that's all for green. So we'll just go. This is it's something that if I get it, I get it. If not, you're gonna see how fast you're trashing cards in your hand while playing this. So this is a reanimator card. Brings back a 2 cost or less, like that green Perona that you just saw. Oh, I like to apologize. I thought this was a card that was I said it was like $30 with my last video. And I was thinking of the Perona for the Zoro build, the one that searches a slash or event alts art, not this one. That's my bad. So this is a card I really, ideally, in a perfect world, I want to use this offensively, but you can use it defensively too. It's just a 3K counter for your character, for your leader. But on main, you may rest 7 Dawn. If your leader is Perona, you play Thriller Bark with a cost 6 or less from your trash, my bad. And 1 with a cost 4 or less from your hand or trash. Keep in mind that one says hand too. Yeah, but there's a lot of meaty combos you can do with this thing. And you don't want to be like, I don't want to say that term, but like you get a Yu-Gi-Oh brain and then you go for the main combo, like, oh, go up for this combo every time. This deck that I made pivots a lot depending on what they do. Unfortunately, you got to know your matchup and stuff like that too. So Shadows Asgard, it's a main and counter. I mainly use this defensively, but you can use it to press aggression too. So your leader gains 1,000 for the turn. You may KO any number of your Thrillbark pirates. And with a cost 2 or less, your leader gains 1,000 for every additional. So you play it right away. Perona here will become a 6K. Then you can keep KOing your other Thrillbark cards, and each one you KO will get more power for Perona. Again, it's only for 1 decent attack with the leader, but on defense is what I think is much more optimal. Sindri, so 2K counter, it's solid, but every time I want to try to just play this just to mill the 5 cards. It's also a target by the stage, so if you want to invest the Dawn to mill 5, if it's already in the trash or whatever, go ahead. This card actually put a much more amazing work than I ever thought it would. So you mill 5 and on KO, remember if you have 6 or less cards in hand, draw 2. Draw a card. So there's a time I had 3 on play because this stage will keep bringing them back too. So one time my opponent's attacking with me, I'll just explain this instance. I played Shadows Asgard, and so after they came at my leader, I played this. I KO'd these 3 characters. I had 2 cards in hand, so my leader went up to 8,000, and then I drew 3 cards off of it. It, like I said, it pivots the game. Something like that successful will give you so much more advantage into your next turn. This card is it's fairly good too. It will, again, 2Ks are really solid. You'll see that is a common thing in this deck. I'm not really offensive in this, I'd say. But if your character would be removed by an effect with 7,000 base power or less, you can discard a card instead. So you keep hand advantage or you get rid of it to stop certain cards from getting destroyed. I mean, removed. Ideally, a lot of people, when they play this, they don't want to KO Thriller Bark because they're used to fighting the green, not green, the Moira stuff, the yellow trigger stuff, and then you'd be surprised how many people just don't read my cards and they just don't want to KO it. So Kumasi, he gains, he has Dawn 2. He gains 1,000 for every 5 in trash. So you play 1 Hogback and that will make him an extra 1,000. So it would be 6 off of, well, you have to invest 2 Dawn, but you'll see late game, this guy gets pretty strong. Usually, and it's fast too. Before I even get to like my 10 Dawn turn, I'll have at least 30 cards in my trash. You can't get too sentimental with the cards in your hand. You're going to be throwing them away all the time. And for counter and milling for guarding, you want to play with your trash rather than your hand. Kind of like Reanimator if you're from Magic. So this card is, your opponent has 5 or more. I said earlier, they transform from your hand. Give something 3 costs this turn. Perona Rest, a 4 cost or less. So this bumps the threshold to resting something with 7 or less. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's also a reanimator target for that Gecko Moria. This card is something to really consider because on play you return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck. I put it at 2 because it's a very flexible spot in the deck, and very versatile. So you get too many, you get too clogged up, but the card, note the important thing is you don't have to, it's not locked into what you put back from your trash to your to your deck. It only cares about what it grabs, which is a Thriller Bark card. So that's something to keep in mind. Perona, it's just a good blocker. Again, it's something to bring back with this. And this is I think this is the biggest thing that catches people's eyes too, is they'll want to reanimate this, right? And then in a perfect world, you can play this, target this, then you can move a Dawn to well, you already have to have him on the field, but that's probably not the case too often. So you'll play him, move a Dawn, right? Because of his effect, you bring out this Perona, and then move a Dawn with her effect. But with her, you can also bring a 2 cost or less too. So you can reanimate him, mill 5 or something. You could reanimate her, get some protection removal. Or you can reanimate the green to get some search. Maybe try to grab that Mihawk or something like that. Speaking of which, that Mihawk right here. This is why I think the Hogback's good, because you can put him back in your trash. This is one of the only ways to do it. So like a starting hand, I would keep this guy, honestly. It seems a little rough, but he's not tutorable in this deck. You can't search him. And yeah, this is something to pivot around. Again, he's a good target for that. So's this Luffy. He's the only other card that you can't just outright grab in the deck. And like I said, with how fast you fill this trash up, usually I already have 20 by the time he's out. That makes Perona a lot harder to hit, by the way. That'll make her 7,000 power. 30 and more in trash is just a bonus. So yeah, there's a lot of different targets you can grab like this. You grab a 6 and less and a 4 or less. So your targets, you can bring back him and her, or you can grab like a hogback instead of her, or this Perona, stuff like that, so you can make more minus cost, something like that too. Get her effect closer to the threshold. Heck, you can even bring back this Perona if you want, because it's a 6 or less for the 5 threshold, and then hit something else. Or you can get 2 of the same things. One time I just used it on 2 of these blocker Peronas and just build up a wall. Then with those, I reanimated 2, I believe it was 2 Kumasis, because I wanted to bait them out and hit my Kumasi rather than my blocker. And like that. So there's so many, that's pretty much ways the deck synergizes and stuff. I'm not familiar. It's just hard. It's well, it's just me ranting for another while because I'm already 15 minutes in the video. That's I can show you test hand and stuff like that too. It'd probably be easier to do this with a simulation, but I don't know. I know a lot of people just do things on the sim, but I don't know. The paper is just so much more genuine. You know what I mean? It feels like you ain't being messed up by the shuffle algorithm and stuff like that too. When you're playing in person, it feels more like connected, especially with the person you're playing with. That's just me rambling at this point. Yeah, that's the recipe. I'll show you a test hander too, because look, like, or you can just drag ahead of time. Anyway, I appreciate you watching the video this far. Let me know what you think would be another thing. Another guy who I opted to put in here was this Blocker Law. He plays out of 5 or less rested. The rested part is what threw me away from the deck, though, because I was like, I could play the blocker Perona, I could play the 5-cost Perona, or just I don't know, another something that would like a hogback to not really optimal value, but it's something you can mill 5, and if they swing into it, well, then that's an extra draw for you. So you'll want to keep your hand low when playing this deck, and you'll want to keep pivoting turn by turn. It's hard to plan turns ahead with this thing. We're not teach players here. So let's look. See, like, so at turn 1, then you'd mill 5. Yeah, not necessarily a keepable hand, I would say, but yeah, look, see, look, there's another 5, and I didn't stack this. You saw me shuffle, and you think I can multitask and stuff like that, but see, on the turn that I would essentially have 1 or 3 dawn, I already have 10 in trash. That gives Kumasi already an extra 2k, so he'd be hitting for 7. If you have any questions or stuff like that too, let me know. I was overwhelmingly surprised with how my view count did, and that's why I wanted to do this follow-up video. There's people asking. I'm like, you guys want to see it? I'll try to deliver. I have not seen a lot of people even trying to play this leader anymore, Perona, because when I uploaded that video the first time, I'm like, dude, no one's doing this. At least at the time I did it. And I was a video for a couple days, and it had like 7 views, and then I posted on my Rumble, and it had like 30 views, and I'm like, wow, no one's watching this thing. Then I come back, I'm not really on YouTube a whole lot to justify doing that, but when I came back, I had over 1,000+ views, and I saw all these new comments. Keep in mind, my channel is like under 100, like 100 subscribers for 11 years, so seeing over 1,000 views is actually mind-boggling to someone my size. All right, that's pretty much it.